Wow, okay, sexy guy.
Okay.
Very nice.
Are you comfortable, Ivan?
Yes.
Are we all set?
Yeah.
Alright. Whenever you're ready.
Hi everyone, the Peranakan magazine has scored a coup. We have an exclusive interview with our special guest here, Mr. Ivan Heng.
Hi everyone.
Hi. Now Ivan, you're proudly Peranakan, of course.
Yes.
Tell us, how has your Peranakan heritage influenced, how you do or how you work in theatre?
I have to say the first time I had to actually confront my Peranakan heritage was when I decided to do uniform. You know, like all Peranakans, you don't actually think of your Peranakanness until, because it's all around you. It's in the food that you eat at Chinese New Year, you soja, your grandparents, you do all those things.
You're not allowed to question. Right?
Yes, you don't question.
You just do.
Yeah. And so it was only when, like 10 years ago or 11 years ago, when I was on a bus, just before I got on the bus to go and begin rehearsals for the very first time I did Emily, I called my mother up and I said, Mom, am I Peranakan? Because at that time I knew that this play had been performed for 17 years, that had been performed by the great women, and they were all Peranakans and they were not Peranakans, but it felt, it was important for me to claim it. And you know what she said to me? She said, are you Peranakan? What do you mean? Hey, you're going to KL to do this play, right? About the woman, right? Your grandmother has got the belt, the gold belt in the bank. Shall I go and take it out for you? And so at that point, it immediately occurred to me that really, how Peranakan one is how much one wants to claim it.
So in a sense, it's a performative thing, isn't it?
Yes, of course. I mean, like every culture. I mean, it's interesting that in this issue we're talking about performance, but it is performance. I mean, culture has to be expressed in some way, right? So we perform it in our songs, in the way we speak, even food is an expression. Right? So yes, it's performed. Yeah.
So take us on a trip down memory lane. You first did Emily about, was it 11 years ago now?
Yes.
Together with the late great Christian Jit.
Yes.
How was that when you started rehearsals with him? So you had your mom's take on it, then you went into rehearsals.
Yeah.
And what did you do? What did he bring into the role? And how did you incorporate it?
I think that he never directed it. I think like every director who approaches Emily with an actor in a room, we have an opportunity here, and we inevitably end up talking about our mothers and our aunts and our sisters. Really, it is about that, and that is the profound privilege and pleasure of working on Selacon's Emily of Emerald Hill. And of course, this time 10 years later, there was much more. I felt that, I had grown up. So I think this time round, actually the interesting thing about this time round was that because Glenn was Peranakan,
Yes.
and I am Peranakan, we didn't talk about being Peranakan.
It wasn't an issue.
It wasn't an issue.
It
We
wasn't
didn't talk about it. We knew exactly how our mothers acted. We knew exactly what it was. We knew what it smelled like. When we saw a kabaya, we knew it was the right kabaya or the wrong kabaya. We knew how to match
It's an
clothes.
intuitive thing, isn't it?
Totally.
You just went straight into it. And okay, but Emily, the character itself, as distinct from Emily being Peranakan, how do you step into the character of this woman?
I step into Emily the way I step into any character. You study the walk, you learn the talk, you put on a voice, you put on an accent, you put on costumes, you put on makeup. It's the same thing actually.
So she's kind of like an amalgamation of all the Peranakan, fantastic Peranakan women in your life. Is that right?
Yes, I'm lucky to have a lot of fantastic women in my life. Well, I think the interesting thing about Peranakan women is that I don't know, the most interesting thing about playing a woman is at the end of the performance when everyone comes up to me and says, oh my goodness, you're more woman than me. You're more woman than them. They bring their daughters and say, look, you learned from Uncle Ivan how to be a lady. And I say to myself, I'm just playing a woman of a time. When you sit with your legs crossed, you perform and you become ladylike, and all that is part of your carriage, and it is a woman of the 50s, of the 60s, of this, you know, her body, I'm playing, my body is the body of a 50s woman. I sit cross-legged, but not like this, but I only cross my ankles. You know, it's all observed, it's
very subtle.
It's subtle, but nowadays women, you know, they sit like this, and they talk, you know what I mean, and it's fine, because that's women nowadays, because women's lib has happened, you know, people have found their voice, but even then, I've always found Peranakan women to be very, very, they know how to take the power, you know, they know how to play, they express their sexuality almost overtly in their voile kabayas, which are so completely sexy and curvaceous, and they can be quiet, but in another instance, they can be loud, you know. I mean, like at the dinner table in my house, when all the brothers and sisters are together, the women are so loud, you have to wear earplugs. Like, and they don't laugh.
No holding wallflowers.
No. They're pretty confident, I think, and that was where I think that's how Emily expresses herself. Of course, you know, I think that she had to find her place in her family and find her place in the world. Yeah.
Talking about finding your place, you're a theatre practitioner. You've played so many different roles.
Yeah.
How has this being Peranakan, this being very extroverted, affected you, pushed you towards spreading the board, so to speak?
I guess it was always part of the family. During Christmas, you would gather around the piano to sing.
Storytelling was a big part of it.
Storytelling, or they buy you a magic set. You know, I was bought a set of magic, and then straight away you're given a magic set. So straight away you perform magic tricks, and you know, that was one of my earliest memories. And I dressed my sister up as my assistant, and at the end of it, during Chinese New Year, we passed the hat round, my magician's hat round, and I made a lot of money. So I thought, I mean, I was led to believe that you can make a lot of money from being an actor. Boy, how wrong was I? But you know, it's been a wonderful, you learn that money isn't everything. You know, I derive great satisfaction from being on stage. Certainly in Emily, one of the most beautiful things, I've never felt it before, but in this particular run, you know, the standing ovations were profound. You know, every single person stood up on 3 floors. And I was very moved by it and very humbled by it, only because mostly that, I didn't feel, it wasn't proud or anything, I just felt moved to belong. I felt moved to have been able to have been one of you. Wow. You know what I mean? So I was so touched to have been everybody's mother. I was so, to have been able to have shared that is I think why I go on and love to act.
And that's why we go on and love Emily as well.
Yes.
And continue loving her.
Yes, and I'm doing a new one-man show.
Fantastic. Okay, tell us about that. Let's move forward now.
This is a new one-man show written by Jose Sulaiman and directed by Claire Wong. I play a man called John Ao Yong, who is in his 50s. Oh well, he's 48 actually. And he is thinking of, and he has everything. He has money, he has women, he has a position in society.
I saw the publicity shots for that, kind of saucy, weren't they? You in bed, is it?
Well, naked woman's in bed, yeah. So I'm actually, I get teased a lot because, you know, I'm so remembered for Emily. But you know, the publicity photo, that photo is in here. Okay, so that photo is in here. Okay. Gosh. I played him here as this man. Okay? With the woman in bed that morning. Okay, this is the one. Okay? You can get a close up later, you can cut away. And then this was at 8 in the morning. Okay? And then by noon, I was
complete transformation.
Yeah, and this is the bed of the president's. This is the bed of the presidential suite of the Shangri-La Hotel. where Obama and Michelle slept. This is where Emily's bed of roses is. That's a little tidbit for you.
American Beauty.
Yes, very American Beauty. But yeah, so that morning I was him. And now I have cut my nails, I'm growing my hair, I'm beginning the process of becoming him. And it's exactly the same process. I learned the lines. It's a new one-man show. Yeah.
So where can we expect Wild Rice to be, let's say, 5 years more down the road? Where do you see Wild Rice going? Where do you see yourself taking?
10 years ago, I would never have said or imagined that Wild Rice would have reached 500,000 people, over 10 years. That's a thank you so much. Thank you. But that comes from a place of public service. That comes from a place of serving the community. To feel that your work is relevant, that your work can actually touch people and move people and make people laugh, make people forget their troubles for a while, help people sort out some difficult things to negotiate, like sadness or loss or mourning, or just celebrating one's identity. I think that's where Wild Rice resides, and I think that the heart of Wild Rice comes from. I'm very much a patriot. I love Singapore, and I think that this work that comes out of Emily, it is the same spirit that moves me to create National Day Parade 2009. The same spirit that motivates me to, create the opening and closing ceremonies of the Youth Olympic Games. The same spirit that motivates me to do Emily. To just create an event. To bring people together, to share something, to take ourselves out of ourselves. But really, it is about the communion. Really, the theatre is about, if you think about it properly, everyone arrives as strangers to see a show, but when they leave as an audience. Yeah.
There you have it. Fantastic insight from a true artist, Mr. Ivan Heng.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Wonderful interview.
Thank you.